Have you ever poured yourself a comforting bowl of oatmeal, thinking you're starting your day with the healthiest possible choice, only to feel sluggish, bloated, or hungry again much sooner than you expected? Many of us, especially as we've gotten a little older, rely on oatmeal as a staple, a warm, reassuring friend in our morning routine. We're told it's good for our heart, good for our digestion, a wonderful source of fiber, and it absolutely can be. But here's a surprising truth that many people overlook, a painful reality that turns this superfood into something far less beneficial, potentially even counterproductive, for our health. It's not the oatmeal itself, but what we often add to it, sometimes unknowingly, that can strip away its goodness and even introduce elements that can really throw our bodies off balance. Imagine trying your best to eat well, choosing what you believe is healthy, yet inadvertently creating a combination that works against your efforts, leaving you feeling less energetic, more inflamed, or even affecting your long-term wellness. That familiar comforting bowl might be doing you more harm than good if you're not careful. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 common foods that, when mixed with your oatmeal, can undermine its amazing benefits and sometimes even turn it into something your body struggles with. These aren't obscure ingredients, they're likely already in your pantry. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of what to avoid and simple swaps to ensure your oatmeal truly supports your vibrant health. So please, watch to the end, because there's something about a very common morning ritual that will truly surprise you. Now, let's dive right into the first few things that can silently sabotage your seemingly healthy oatmeal. The first culprit, and perhaps the most obvious one, yet so easily overused, is refined sugar. We're talking about your standard white granulated sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, or even maple syrup and honey when used in excessive amounts. Now, you might be thinking, but I only add a little bit for taste. And that's precisely the point. Oatmeal, in its pure form, is a fantastic source of soluble fiber, which is wonderful for blood sugar stability, heart health, and keeping you full. It releases energy slowly, preventing those sharp spikes and crashes that leave you feeling tired and reaching for another snack. However, when you douse it in refined sugar, you completely counteract this amazing benefit. That fiber is still there, but the massive influx of simple sugars hits your bloodstream rapidly, causing your blood sugar to soar. Your pancreas then has to work overtime to produce insulin to bring that sugar down. And this repeated process over time can lead to insulin resistance, increased inflammation, and even contribute to conditions like type 2 diabetes. For those of us over 60, managing blood sugar is even more critical for overall health. Preventing fatigue and maintaining cognitive function. Think about it, you're having oatmeal to feel sustained. But if you're adding tablespoons of sugar, you're essentially turning it into a dessert. And then you crash an hour or two later, feeling hungrier than before. Instead of sugar, try natural sweetness from a small handful of fresh berries like blueberries or raspberries, which also add antioxidants and extra fiber, or a sprinkle of cinnamon, which has its own benefits for blood sugar control and adds a lovely warmth. Even a tiny bit of pure vanilla extract can trick your taste buds into thinking something is sweeter than it is. It's about retraining your palate to appreciate the subtle, natural flavors. Moving on to the second common addition that can turn your oatmeal from a health hero to a hidden villain. We have processed dairy products like flavored yogurts and sweetened coffee creamers. Many people stir in a dollop of yogurt for creaminess, or a splash of creamer for a familiar flavor. But let's look at what's often hidden in these seemingly innocent additions. Flavored yogurts, especially the low-fat varieties, are often packed with added sugars, artificial flavors, and thickeners. They might boast about probiotics, but the sugar content can easily outweigh any benefits. It's a double whammy, you're adding sugar on top of sugar, and potentially artificial ingredients that your body doesn't recognize or can react poorly to. Similarly, those delightful coffee creamers, while not usually stirred directly into oatmeal, are sometimes used to flavor it. These are often loaded with high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, and artificial colors and flavors. None of these contribute to the healthy, sustained energy oatmeal is supposed to provide. Instead, they introduce unhealthy fats that can contribute to inflammation and artificial compounds that can disrupt your gut microbiome, which is so crucial for digestion, immunity, and even mood as we age. If you love a creamy texture, consider using plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt for a protein boost, or a splash of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk. These alternatives provide creaminess without the hidden sugars and questionable ingredients. Always check the labels carefully. You want something with minimal ingredients and absolutely no added sugars. It's about making deliberate choices that support your body, not hinder it. Now that we've discussed how refined sugars and processed dairy can undermine your efforts, let's talk about the third common misstep with oatmeal, one that might surprise you, especially if you enjoy a savory twist: high-sodium processed meats and certain store-bought savory toppings. While most people lean toward sweet oatmeal, some enjoy it savory, perhaps with an egg or vegetables. But introducing things like bacon bits, processed breakfast sausages, or even very salty bouillon cubes if you're making a broth-based oatmeal can be a real issue. These items are notoriously high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and often contain nitrates and other preservatives. While a little salt is necessary, excessive sodium intake, especially from processed sources, can lead to increased blood pressure, fluid retention, and put extra strain on your heart and kidneys, which are already working hard as we get older. The fiber in oatmeal is wonderful for heart health, but if you're pairing it with something that actively works against cardiovascular wellness, you're essentially taking one step forward and two steps back. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You want your oatmeal to be a foundation for health, not a vehicle for things that could cause problems. And it's not just meats. Even some pre-packaged dried onion or garlic mixes or savory seasoning blends can have surprisingly high sodium levels. Always check those nutrition labels. If you enjoy savory oatmeal, think fresh and lean. Consider adding fresh herbs like chives or parsley, sautéed vegetables such as spinach or mushrooms, or a lean protein source like a perfectly cooked poached egg, a little sprinkle of black pepper or a dash of your favorite low-sodium, no-sugar hot sauce can add a kick without compromising your health goals. It's about being mindful of all the ingredients you're putting into your bowl, ensuring they all contribute positively to your well-being. Next, we need to talk about another seemingly healthy addition that can turn problematic: certain dried fruits, especially the heavily sweetened or candied varieties. Many of us reach for dried cranberries, cherries, or even mixed fruit blends to add a burst of sweetness and some chewiness to our oatmeal. And yes, dried fruit can offer some fiber and nutrients. However, the problem arises when these fruits are processed with an abundance of added sugars. Think about those craisins or mixed fruit bags you find at the grocery store. A single serving can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. When fruit is dried, its natural sugars become highly concentrated, and then manufacturers often add even more sugar to enhance flavor or as a preservative. So, while you might think you're getting a concentrated dose of fruit goodness, you're often getting a massive sugar hit that, just like refined sugar, can spike your blood glucose levels. This negates the steady energy release that whole rolled oats are famous for. It's important to remember that as we age, our bodies process sugars differently, and consistently, high sugar intake can lead to inflammation, weight gain, and increased risk of chronic diseases. Instead of these sugar-laden options, opt for small amounts of truly unsweetened dried fruit, or even better, fresh or frozen berries. Fresh berries, as mentioned before, provide natural sweetness along with more water content and a higher volume of fiber. helping you feel fuller and more satisfied without the sugar overload. If you absolutely love dried fruit, look for varieties with no added sugar on the label and use them sparingly, thinking of them as a treat rather than a primary topping. A little goes a long way. Another sneaky addition that many people rely on for sweetness, thinking it's a healthier alternative to sugar, is artificial sweeteners. We're talking about aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, and even some of the newer, natural, non-caloric sweeteners like stevia or erythritol when used excessively. While these sweeteners don't contain calories and don't directly spike blood sugar in the same way sugar does, they come with their own set of potential problems. Research is increasingly suggesting that artificial sweeteners can negatively impact our gut microbiome, that delicate balance of beneficial bacteria in our intestines. A healthy gut is absolutely essential for good digestion, nutrient absorption, a strong immune system, and even our mental well-being. Especially as we get older, disrupting this balance can lead to digestive upset, bloating, and may even affect how our bodies metabolize glucose over time. Ironically, furthermore, for some individuals, artificial sweeteners can still trigger cravings for sweet foods, keeping you in a cycle of wanting more sugar. Even if you're not consuming actual calories from it, your brain senses sweetness, expects calories, and when they don't arrive, it can lead to confusion and continued cravings. For someone who is trying to reduce their sugar intake and rely on oatmeal for steady energy, these sweeteners can be a confusing signal to the body. Instead of relying on artificial sweeteners, truly work towards appreciating the natural flavors of your food. As we discussed, fresh fruit, a pinch of cinnamon, or a tiny splash of vanilla extract can add pleasant notes. Sometimes, simply letting the natural goodness of the oats shine through, perhaps with a touch of unsweetened nut butter for richness, is all you need. It's a journey of taste bud re-education, moving away from intense sweetness to more subtle, satisfying flavors. Now, let's move on to the sixth common mix-in, or rather, a common pairing, that can undermine your oatmeal's goodness: conventional coffee consumed too closely with your meal. Many of us start our day with a warm bowl of oatmeal and a comforting cup of coffee, almost simultaneously. While coffee has its own health benefits, and oatmeal is wonderful, the timing can be crucial, especially if you're aiming to maximize nutrient absorption. Coffee contains compounds called tannins and polyphenols, which are antioxidants and have their own merits. However, these compounds can bind with certain minerals in your food, particularly non-heme iron, which is the type of iron found in plant-based foods like oatmeal. This binding can reduce the amount of iron your body absorbs. For many people, especially women over 60, maintaining adequate iron levels is important to prevent fatigue and support overall energy. While oatmeal isn't the absolute highest source of iron, every little bit counts. If you're relying on your oatmeal as part of your daily nutrient intake, you want to ensure your body can actually use those nutrients effectively. It's not that coffee is toxic with oatmeal, but rather that drinking them together can diminish one of oatmeal's subtle benefits. The good news is, this is an easy fix. You don't have to give up your morning coffee or your oatmeal. Simply try to create a little time gap between consuming them. Enjoy your oatmeal, and then wait 30 minutes to an hour before having your coffee. This allows your digestive system to start processing the nutrients from the oatmeal, giving the iron a better chance of being absorbed before the coffee's compounds enter the picture. This small tweak can make a meaningful difference in how well your body benefits from your breakfast. Finally, the seventh item on our list that can turn your wholesome oatmeal into something less ideal, or even counterproductive, is ultra-processed protein powders and supplements with artificial ingredients. It's common to want to boost the protein content of our oatmeal, especially as we age and protein becomes even more vital for maintaining muscle mass, bone health, and satiety. And adding protein is a fantastic idea. However, Many commercially available protein powders, particularly those marketed for general health or meal replacements, are often loaded with artificial sweeteners, synthetic flavors, emulsifiers, and a host of other additives. Just like with the artificial sweeteners we discussed earlier, these ingredients can upset your gut microbiome, leading to digestive discomfort like bloating or gas, and may even cause inflammatory responses in some individuals. Your body often struggles to recognize and process these synthetic compounds, diverting energy that could be used for other vital functions. Furthermore, some of these powders are made from poor quality protein sources that are difficult for your body to absorb efficiently, meaning you're not even getting the full protein benefit you think you are. You're essentially adding a cocktail of unnecessary chemicals to your otherwise clean and healthy bowl of oats. Instead of these questionable powders, choose protein sources that are whole, natural, and easily digestible. Think about stirring in a tablespoon or two of a good quality, unsweetened collagen powder, which supports joint and skin health, or perhaps some plain, unsweetened whey protein concentrate or isolate, checking the label for minimal ingredients. Even better, consider adding natural protein from foods like a spoonful of natural, unsweetened nut butter peanut, almond, or cashew, which also provides healthy fats. Chia seeds or ground flax seeds are also wonderful additions, offering not only protein, but also healthy omega-3 fatty acids and extra fiber. It's about getting that protein boost from sources your body recognizes and can truly utilize, ensuring your oatmeal remains a pure source of nourishment. We've covered quite a journey today, uncovering those 7 common foods that, when mixed with your oatmeal, can unknowingly undermine its incredible health benefits and sometimes even create challenges for your body. We talked about how refined sugars can turn a blood sugar-friendly meal into a roller coaster, leading to energy crashes and inflammation. We looked at how processed dairy and coffee creamers sneak in hidden sugars and unhealthy fats, disrupting your gut and adding unnecessary burdens. Then, we explored the pitfalls of high-sodium processed meats and even seemingly innocent heavily sweetened dried fruits, both of which can quietly work against your heart health and lead to sugar spikes. We also discovered how artificial sweeteners, despite their calorie-free nature, can confuse your body and disrupt your essential gut microbiome. And finally, we just discussed how even something as simple as drinking coffee too close to your meal can affect iron absorption, and how many popular protein powders can introduce unwanted artificial ingredients into your wholesome breakfast. It might feel like a lot to remember, but please don't get discouraged. The beautiful thing about these insights is that they empower you to make small, conscious changes that yield big results for your health and happiness. Remember, oatmeal itself is a powerhouse, a truly remarkable food for sustained energy, heart health, and digestion. The goal isn't to stop eating oatmeal, but to make it work even harder for you, to truly unlock its potential. Think of this as fine-tuning your breakfast to be the best it can be. Instead of refined sugar, reach for fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a tiny bit of vanilla. For creaminess, opt for plain unsweetened yogurt or plant-based milks with minimal ingredients. If you love savory oats, embrace fresh herbs and vegetables instead of high-sodium processed meats. Swap those sugary dried fruits for truly unsweetened versions, used sparingly, or better yet, fresh fruit. Ditch the artificial sweeteners and allow your palate to appreciate natural flavors. Give your coffee a little break from your oatmeal, perhaps 30 minutes, to let your body absorb all those good nutrients. And when it comes to protein, choose whole, natural sources like unsweetened nut butters, chia seeds, or clean, single-ingredient protein powders. These aren't drastic overhauls. They're gentle nudges towards better choices, small adjustments that can accumulate into a significant improvement in how you feel every single day. Imagine starting your morning with a bowl of oatmeal that truly nourishes you, leaving you feeling energized, clear-headed, and satisfied. without the hidden downsides. That's the power of conscious eating, especially as we age. Your body is incredibly resilient and responsive to these thoughtful changes. Every healthy choice you make is an investment in your future self, in more vibrant years, more energy for the things you love, and more peace of mind knowing you're truly supporting your well-being. I truly hope this information has been helpful and given you some valuable insights for your morning routine. I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these swaps already? Are there any other oatmeal combinations you found that work wonderfully for you? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your wisdom and insights are so valuable to this community, and we can all learn from each other. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, a like, as that really helps our channel reach more people who could benefit from this information. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We're dedicated to bringing you more practical, easy-to-understand advice to help you live your healthiest, happiest life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, you have the power to make incredible choices for your health. Live your best life at every age.